Welcome to the Stoppage Time edition of the Pitch to Pro podcast. This is a highlight reel of some of the best moments from the show so far, and every other week we will be bringing you a special 5 to 7 minute segment featuring the best stories, tales, and moments of the podcast.
And so we met, and I said, Warren, I'm really I feel like the community can get behind this. I'm getting so much positive feedback. I have a lot of soccer network connections. USL is very supportive of what we're doing. They want a team here.
Yeah.
They see what the smart community can be. And but I don't really know how to actually do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was really open with him, and he was great. He gave me a couple of pointers immediately. A lot of it was about the location, right? It really, really was a lot about the location.
It's such a niche skill set, right? Like launching and starting a professional sports team. Not many people, it's such a small community. Like there's so many sports teams all over the world, but it's such a small community of people that kind of have that drive and passion and find themselves in positions to be able to do it. And, you being one of them with Warren and his background and his story, which we'll talk about. But just super cool that, again, love the game, it'll love you back. Another example of
Absolutely.
Kind of finding yourself.
That contact was only because I love the game. I was trying to help spread the game more, give more opportunities, and that's how it actually came about. And so when Warren and I met, Warren was at the time still the president and operating the day-to-day operations for the San Diego Loyal.
Yeah.
And so, which is the last club that he founded. We call him a serial founder.
Serial founder.
Yeah. And he gave me some great advice and said, hey, I'll here to help. Let me know when you do. But I can't leave what I'm doing in the middle of this project. I think at that time they were only in existence for maybe a year. So they were literally in their still launch phase of it. And so we just stayed in touch, and kind of years went by. We crossed paths a little bit, kept updated about the different locations that we were looking at. Warren almost immediately started mentioning, though, Pinnacle Hills back then.
Yeah.
I mean, he really was very single. And I said, there's just not a lot of land there.
Yeah.
Because at the time we were looking for 20, 30, 40, 50 acres.
Right.
So you kind of limit your opportunities of where to go. We thought it'd also be great to have some fields around it, and maybe it's a athletic complex with stadium. And we had some of those discussions with different land opportunities, but you do limit your opportunities. You also limit your access to population and how close we can be to fun and exciting things that are provided by downtowns and their entertainment districts. And so he was talking about that really early on. So we fast forward and we keep working a few different angles in Northwest Arkansas, connecting with communities, connecting with people, building more support. The other big step change that happened at that time was we started working with Steve Lane at Colliers International. And that was a really tremendous decision on our part to bring them in, because they were able to do a real market analysis of the entire market from northern Northwest Arkansas and Centerton and Bentonville all the way down to Fayetteville, right? And now you obviously want to be somewhat centrally located. That helps. It's not mandatory, right? But it helps to make it easy. You want to be close to a highway. Again, you could survive maybe if you're not that close, but it's always better. It's always easier. There's been proven, and Warren has done this, and we've seen it in other teams that have been successful. And so Steve Lane was really the kind of the vehicle to actually really get to where we ended up in Pinnacle Hills. And that was, we narrowed it down to like a final 15. Yeah. And through that 15, we started looking at metrics where we had, great community engagement. We had access to all different, walks of life in Northwest Arkansas. And we just kind of kept coming back to Rogers and Pinnacle Hills. And that was kind of the biggest game changer, because you can do a lot of other things wrong. Mm-hmm. You can't make up for being in the wrong location. Yeah. And we've seen it with other clubs that haven't operated successfully. Almost always, it's always been because they're not in the right location, right?
Well, and something that Warren's said several times that always sticks out to me is you need to be in a place where people are already used to coming, and they already are. There's instances and examples of where pro clubs or teams have built a new stadium that is, a big kind of swath of land, but it's come with a whole host of other development around it at the same time. And it's not, we build it and hope that they will come kind of strategy, right? And it's really the kind of way to not ensure your success, but give yourself the best chance of success is putting yourself in a place where that people are already used to coming for entertainment and entertaining themselves. And that's why we love our locations so much. And, we'll talk all day about it, but, that was something that really stuck out. And I think people get that, right? In the reaction that we've gotten so far, every single time. I have never come across a person yet, and as soon as we cut this, somebody's going to chime in, but I'll knock on wood here, but every single person has said, unbelievable location, absolutely killer. I can't believe you guys got that. That's going to be so great. I can't wait to go to games there. It's going to be the perfect spot.
From soccer fans and non-soccer fans as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so while we were doing that and getting close to that property, I was also trying to learn a lot on my own and talking to other folks in the league that operate teams in other markets, sometimes bigger markets, sometimes small markets, just to educate myself and really keep progressing and figuring out how to actually maybe pull this thing off, right? Mm-hmm. Now we're starting to get some ideas that this could happen, right? At the beginning, it was a pipe dream. Now we're at the point where there's momentum here. We're starting to talk about a really great location, starting to pull some good people into the process. So now we're, let's say, 2.5-ish years in. And at that point, I did some trips. I went to different markets. I went to Greenville, South Carolina, which is actually a really lovely place. If you've never been, it's really awesome.
I've played a youth tournament there.
Yeah, growing region of the country. And again, the game had connected me from New Jersey to a former U.S. national team legend, one of the pioneers of U.S. soccer, named John Harkes, who's the current coach of the Greenville Triumph, USL League One team. Very successful team as well, very successful coach, tremendous background that he has. And we got connected to my friend Rob McCourt, who was my old coach at the USL when I played with the New Jersey Stallions. And Rob and John are two Kearney soccer guys, and Kearney is like soccer town,
it always
USA.
Back to New Jersey. It always comes back to Jersey.
So John was just tremendous, though. We still stay in touch to this day, and just gave me so many different pointers and watch outs and things to work on and things not to focus on that I thought were important.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about what the stadium would look like. And John's like, there's 4,000 steps before you actually get to that.
Get there.
Focus on the critical elements here is getting the right location, kind of reinforce some of the things that Warren was saying.
Thank you for joining us for this stoppage time special of the Pitch to Pro podcast. If you've enjoyed the conversation, you can click watch the full episode here. Be sure to tune in next Thursday for a new episode of the Pitch to Pro podcast, the official podcast of USL Arkansas. Available on YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere you get your podcasts.